Fourth graders, we're going to talk today about evaluating a website, and we have a website here that we're going to look at and evaluate together. So this site is about the Pacific Northwest tree octopus, and specifically it is help save the endangered Pacific Northwest tree octopus from extinction. So to give you a little bit of information about what the Pacific Northwest tree octopus is, it can be found in the temperate rainforest of the Olympic Peninsula on the west coast of North Africa. Their habitat lies on the eastern side of the Olympic mountain range, adjacent to the Hood Canal. These solitary cephalopods reach an average size, measured from arm tip to mantle tip, of 30 to 33 centimeters. Unlike most other cephalopods, tree octopuses are amphibious, so they spend their early life and the period of their mating season in an aquatic environment, and because of their moistness of the rainforest and their special skin adaptations, they're able to keep from drying up after they've been in outside of the water for long periods of time. So given the chance, they prefer to rest in just pooled water, and then they live typically in the trees. So this page gives us a little bit more information about the Pacific Northwest tree octopus. And on this page we have some other tabs here that can give us some more information about it. So let's go through the checklist and see if this page has everything that we need for a good web page, or if we're coming across some things that seem a little fishy or questionable to us, or that we wonder about when we look at web pages. So, are the pictures on the page helpful? If we go to the sightings page here, we've got some pictures. I'll let you look at these pictures and decide if they are good pictures that look like they could be accurate representations of this animal, or if they look questionable. I'm not sure, honestly, why this one has some money in it. I'd have to do some more reading and digging around on the page to see that. Got some interesting pictures here, so you can decide if you think that these are good quality photos or how they look. Is each section of the page labeled with a heading? So it looks like it is. At the very top here, we've got these buttons to go to different pages, and then we have the Pacific Northwest tree octopus. We have how you can help. FAQ stands for frequently asked questions. We have the tree octopus sightings, tree octopus in the media, activities, so tree octopus activities, and then links to other web pages. So each page is labeled to tell easily what each page is, which is nice. Did the author use or sign his or her real name? So it's kind of hard to determine if it's his or her real name, but typically at the very bottom of the page, or at the very top of the page, you will see the author's name. So I don't see it on this page, but I wonder if we go to the About page. I don't see it at the top, so if we scroll all the way to the bottom, it says here the author of this article and its subsections is Lyle Zapato. This site is not associated with any school or educational organization other than the Kelvinic University branch of the Wild Haggis Conservation Society. So it does look like it gives his name. I'm not certain if it's his real name. I could click on this link, it looks like, and it takes us to another web page that I might be able to determine if that is his real name. So I would have to do some searching. If I typed his name into Google, let's see what happens. So I'm going to come back here and I'm just going to highlight this. I'm going to click Control C and search. So who is Lyle Zapato? It says he's an author, but I don't really see, I only see a few results here, and I don't know who he is. So based on this information, I don't know that this is his real name. I'll let you guys be the judge of that and you guys decide. It does here give me an email address for him though, so if I did want to contact him, I could do that with that email address. Let's see here. Let's go back to the Pacific Northwest tree octopus. So I think you would have to decide if that's his real name or not. That's for you to determine. Did the author give you his or her email address or contact information? Honestly, it was kind of hard to find his contact information on this page, but after I did a little bit of digging on some of those other pages, we were able to find his email address. So we had to dig a little bit, but it was accessible. We didn't have like a mailing address or a phone number, though it didn't appear. So we'd have to go back and look maybe a little bit harder for some of that stuff. Is there a date on the page that tells you when it was last updated? So down here in the corner, I'm noticing it says address concerns to Lyle Zapato, and then it says created, and it tells me that it was created on March 8th, 1998, and that it was last updated on May 22nd, 2018. So it was updated pretty recently, which is great. Is there a menu with links to other pages on the site? There are links to other pages on the site, so these up here would be buttons that take us to other pages, and there's even some links to other pages outside. It looks like this will take us to a whole different web page. So some of those do exist. Are there distracting ads on this site? It doesn't look to me like there are any distracting ads, which is really nice and tells you that the website's probably been paid for. So somebody's paying money to run this website, which is typically an indication that they want you to have that information. So it might be an indication that it's a good source of information, but it might not. So you have to be kind of careful with that one. If you go to another page on the site, can you get back to the main page easily? Yes, you can, because this menu at the top stays there the entire time, so it doesn't go away. So it's easy to get from one page to the next and back to where you might want to go. Does the title of the page tell you what it is about? It does. So for example, we have the help page here. It says how you can help, or FAQs, have frequently asked questions. Is there a paragraph on the page telling you what the website is about? So it's got an entire page actually that tells you what the website is about. So this is all about the Pacific Northwest tree octopus and tells us what it is, why it's endangered. So we could read through that and get some more information about the animal. Is there an about section or page that tells you who the author or company is? So we have an about section that tells us about the animal, but we don't have any about section that tells us who Lyle Zapato is. We have to click on his name, which takes us to another web page, and even this one doesn't look like it's giving us good information about who he is. So unfortunately, I would have to say that it's not looking like it's super good information or super easy to navigate, which is a little concerning. Is there an about section? If there is an about section, does the information seem like it's coming from a good, reliable source? So we would have to make that decision on your own after you do a little bit more research from this Zapato Productions intradimensional page. You'd have to maybe click on some of these links, read some of this information, see if you think that he is a reliable source or if he is maybe making some of this information up. Maybe he has a bias towards some of this information and that's why he's writing about it. It's really up to you to make that decision. Do the links on the page take you to other websites with good matching information? So we did see up here at the top the links that took us to other web pages. I would have to click on and go through these web pages and compare information to determine if the information matched. Now, just looking at some of these pictures, I don't notice any of these cephalopods in trees, so that has me kind of questioning things because these are just about cephalopods. This one's sitting on a penny, it looks like, to show you just how little bitty it is. But I don't see anything on this page that's specifically mentioning the Northwest Pacific tree octopus, so that's something to keep in mind. Let's look at some of the other web pages here. So the Octopus News Magazine Online, I'd have to look through this web page and see if I feel like this is a reliable source. of information. It just looks like this is actually a forum where people can post information about octopuses. So it looks like it's just random people online that are posting that stuff. So I don't know that that's going to be the best reliable source. Let's click on one more. Let's see, sea wolves or coastal wolves. So I don't know that this is got any information about the Pacific Northwest tree octopus, so it looks like it's another rare animal. So that's all something to keep in mind. Does the author of the page give any information that you think may be wrong? So this is one that you need to spend some time looking at the information, determining, does this information sound correct? Can I find other information on the web or on my research databases that match this information or are similar enough to this information that I believe that it may be true? You're going to have to do a little bit of digging to determine that for yourself. And it says, when you type in link to with the website link in Google, did the sites that link to it seem reliable? So that means there is no mention that the site might have bad information. So I'm going to open a new tab here at the top, and I'm going to type in link to and a colon, and I've already pasted in my link address. Actually, here, let's go back here and copy the link address and then paste it in there. And so these are all pages that are other web pages that have links on them back to this Pacific Northwest tree octopus page. So this is a really good way to determine if there's other matching information from other reliable sites out there. So if I clicked on, for example, oh, this is interesting. This has actually got a gov email address, .gov, so that's government. So typically if something is created by our government, it's more trustworthy than just something at a .com or .net email address or website address. So if we click on this, let's see if this gives us some good information. So this is the Library of Congress. Save the Pacific Northwest tree octopus. So this is looking like promising information here that might be good information. Let's see what it says. Save the Pacific Northwest tree octopus. The Pacific Northwest tree octopus is an internet hoax created in 1998 by Lyle Zapato. This fictitious endangered species of cephalopods was purportedly able to live both on land and in water and is said to live in the Olympic National Forest and nearby rivers, spawning in water where its eggs are laid. It looks like it's about internet literacy, folklore and mythology, and hoaxes. So you'll have to decide for yourself, do you think that that web page has good information? So you could click through here and look at some of the other pages that link to this one. This is the exact same page, actually. Let's see. Save the Pacific Northwest tree octopus, endangered tree octopus. It must be true. I read it on the internet. So, I don't know. You'll have to kind of look through here and see if this has got some good information for you. The last few things that we want to talk about before our video is finished is, does it seem like the author is an expert on the topic? And how do you know, excuse me, that the author is an expert on this topic? Is the purpose of the info on this site to give facts, or is it to convince you to do something? If it's to convince you to do something, then it might be a little bit biased and might not be the best source of information. Okay? Does the information seem like it's good, like it's not biased? And I want you to think about, how do you know that? And then I'm going to have you determine for yourself, do you think this webpage, the Pacific Northwest tree octopus, is a good and trustworthy webpage to get information about this animal? Or do you think it's a webpage that maybe has some misleading or inaccurate information on it? I'm going to let you decide that for yourself. I'm going to let you talk to the people at your table about it. We'll talk about it as a class, and then you will have the opportunity to look at some websites on your own and with your table partners to determine if they are good and reliable websites or not.